Good afternoon, good morning. It's Mark Johnson from Loyalty360. Hope everyone's happy, safe, and well. I want to welcome you back to another edition of Loyalty Live. In this series, we speak with leading agencies, technology partners, and consultants in customer channel and brand loyalty about the technology trends and best practices that impact the brand's ability to drive unique experiences, enhance engagement, and most importantly, impact customer loyalty. Today, we have the pleasure of speaking with Suman and Padma from TCS. Suman is the head of product management and digital software solutions, and Padma is the product manager at TCS for their Customer Intelligence and Insights group for retail. Thank you very much for taking the time to join us today.
Thanks, Mark. Great to be here. Great talking to you.
Excellent. We'd like to start these on a more personal level, get to know those who we're speaking with. So if you could tell us a little bit more about yourself, your current role at TCS, and maybe a bit about your background, that'd be great. And we'll go ahead and start with Suman.
Sure, Mark. Thank you. So, as part of TCS, I'm part of, both Padma and I are part of Digital Software and Solutions. It's a software unit within TCS, although TCS is majorly known for consulting and system integration services. But TCS also has a very thriving product business and multiple product lines. Digital Software and Solution is one such. And within that unit, we focus on AI, ML, and AI activation in context of specific industries. So my role is I head product management for our unit, where we look into how we can activate AI across these various industries, across domains of customer engagement, customer experience, across sustainability, smart enterprises, and also AI activation as a technology in general. So that's what we work upon. And it's been almost 23 plus years in the industry. And I've been fortunate enough to start with customer engagement domain itself as I started my career. And while initially the journey started from CRM and customer journey, customer engagements, but very soon it was quite clear that how data and analytics really can improve such journeys and customer experience. And that's when gradually we evolved into starting with data analytics, and then of course AI has taken off. And the prospects are even brighter as we look forward. So that's been the journey pretty much. And both of us are from product management teams.
Okay. And Padma?
Yeah, hi Mark. I'm Padma. I'm part of Suman's team. I'm heading CI&I for retail, which is Customer Intelligence and Insights, which is a combination of loyalty, customer data platform, and analytics. As Suman was speaking about. So I've been, with TCS for the last 15 years. Primarily, engaged in, with customers on loyalty, customer analytics, and customer data platform. So it's been a really, enriching journey so far, and very interesting in terms of how the trends are shaping towards AI, Gen AI, and how loyalty is taking a lead going forward. Mark. Looking forward to the conversation today.
Excellent. Me as well. Customer data platform CDPs are very important for our audience. So we have a growing brand membership who are looking to understand the technology stack. We're actually doing some research right now to understand disparate components of their technology stack. From a customer loyalty perspective, I think we've mapped out 26 or 27 different components. So when you look at a CDP, how can it play a central role? How does it play a central role in a brand's data management and customer loyalty efforts? And also, it'd be great to know how you define a CDP and kind of what the core functionality should be.
Sure, maybe I'll take that, Padma, if that is okay. So, see, when we look into CDP, and if you look into the current market or even the initial adoption of CDP, it's been largely CMO-led. And almost even now, 60% of CDP implementations happen around campaigns and customer personalization and so on. And it's still very much in the marketing domain. But having said that, and if you ask me in my view from a CDP perspective, it's much beyond that. The promise of CDP is much beyond that when you start looking at it from customer engagement model. And if you really want to extend that customer engagement model to create a flywheel where you start from the concept of discovering the customer persona, really understanding who they are from their consumption, from their behavior, from the interaction. And based on that persona, if you can translate that to their journeys, what are the journeys that are most relevant and meaningful to them in their day in life? And then if you can take that insight from the journeys into connecting that to their day in life through connected engagements, linking that to their communities, their aspirations, their emotions, and then bringing it back to create a network and community, which can create that network and flywheel to the customer engagement model. That's where the true promise of CDP lies. And that's where we feel that CDP is central to that concept. And from that perspective, if you look at, in fact, the market and definitions of CDPs have been evolving over the periods, where increasingly enterprises are looking at CDP from an enterprise capability, not just marketing, but also from customer care, from customer engagement, from channel interactions, digital interactions, and so on. So the first point of view here from a CDP perspective, how we define CDP is it's much beyond a golden record or creation of a unified profile. But the true promise of CDP lies where you can start connecting those profiles into what we call as a connected customer profile and a connected customer engagement model, where you can then use all those connections to really discover their personas. Like a busy Beth, say a working mom with 2 kids, her journey Monday to Friday would be very different. She would prefer, small format stores, walk-in, walk-out, app-based checkouts, and etc., compared to maybe over the weekend, where she would have more time for herself, maybe for that morning run or for maybe a connect into wellness and nutrition and so on. So the moment you start looking at consumers from the angle of persona, you really start looking into the promise of CDP that you can bring in, because that will anchor the customer engagement flywheel that I just talked about. So for us, therefore, CDP is what we define as a smart hub, which can not just, of course, do the basics, which is about profile unification and etc., but more importantly, bring to bear AI analytics to discover personas, discover consumer journeys, link journeys to engagement, and then link that with loyalty, which creates that engagement and the purpose that we just talked about in terms of network and creating that network flywheel. So for us, CDP is of course central to customer engagement model, but on its own, it cannot deliver the promise unless and until it's married to insights, analytics, and loyalty, all coming together to deliver on that customer engagement. So that's how we look into CDP from the perspective of really getting to the next stages of customer interactions and the connected engagement.
Okay. And Padma, when you look at these features that were just discussed, how does a CDP complement or enhance a brand's marketing technology stack? What are the benefits of having a CDP?
Sure. So, Mark, when we look at the current technology stack that marketing has, there are a lot of systems, right? 130 to 40 systems. Some doing data collection, some trying to do data activation. Right now, customer data is distributed everywhere. So CDP basically helps in unifying all of this data into one point, right? So that's the first thing that CDP does. Now there is also a risk when data is dispersed everywhere, the data privacy risk, which is there, right? So it is important to protect the customer's privacy. One. The second is, with so many disparate sources of data, how is it that it's going to be leading to a very consistent experience for customers? So that is where CDP again comes into the picture, trying to unify and provide a consistent view of the customer to the brands, and the same thing, one view of the brand to the customers, right? So, the way that Suman was talking about in terms of a smart hub CDP, right? So where it's not just about the unification of the data into one place, but building on top of it to analyze the customer's interests, their likes, their dislikes, and then being able to give a purpose-led engagement on top of it, right? Now that kind of a model where we have, say, a customer data platform, and then insights and loyalty adding on top of it, that is very critical to ensure that the redundancies in the marketing technology landscape that exists today are taken off, right? So this will help in rationalization of the entire technology stack that marketing uses currently.
Okay. Data privacy are big areas of concern as well. We just did a research paper on data privacy with members of Loyalty360 in November, December. In a recent study, we saw that almost 70% of the brands feel their focus on data and privacy has increased in the last 12 to 18 months. And what are the benefits that of loyalty program that you can gain in regard to privacy and data and compliance? And how does a CDP help address some of those issues, Padma?
Absolutely. So, Mark, a great question. We were just talking about this data privacy, right? So, right now, loyalty is becoming an important entry point, right, for customers' zero-party and first-party data, given that the third-party cookies are getting obsolete, right? Now, when customers are sharing their data, and loyalty being a very important avenue of that data collection, it's important for customers to feel safe, right? They want to make sure that their data is used for the purpose for which it is collected, and then they get to reap the benefits of personalization. Now, how does this work? In a typical marketing technology stack, we see that loyalty, is a silo in itself when it comes to managing customer data, right? So, as we spoke about previously, managing customer data in multiple places leads to data privacy concerns. Now, if we have a loyalty that is that is tied to CDP in the sense that all customer data that is available in the loyalty flows into the customer data platform, then the CDP takes care of the data privacy, right? So it takes care of maintaining the customer's consent, making sure that the PII of the customer is protected, right? So thus giving an environment that customers can trust, right? So this is what, in addition to what Suman was talking about in terms of purpose-driven engagement. So this is what we term as responsible and purpose-driven engagement. So CDP helps, bring that aspect of responsibility and building that trust for customers.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot, Padma. If I can just add a couple of points here, because one part is, of course, Padma covered the privacy and consent leading to privacy, centralization and protection of data, and then other systems feeding off from CDP as it's providing, be it loyalty, etc. But apart from data privacy, what is also getting very important, we talked about AI and insights earlier as well. It's also about privacy and responsible AI. So that is where, when you're looking into customer engagement models, when you're looking into insights, how are you able to ensure that the use of AI is in the ethical as well as in a protected and responsible manner? And that is where data privacy also goes hand in hand with responsible AI in the context of customer engagement. So, Mark, just to extend to what Padma said, from our point of view, as Padma highlighted, responsible and purpose-led engagement comes with the working together of privacy and responsible AI in the context of customer engagement, embedded through, of course, CDP, loyalty, and customer AI. So responsible AI and data privacy needs to come together to really build that element of trust. So that's the only point just wanted to add here.
Okay. Absolutely. And personalization, kind of an outcome that brands are looking for, making sure that they have the most personalized content, the offers, the incentives correct. When you look at personalization, what trends are you seeing from brands that are looking at personalization, leveraging data to drive more relevant customer experiences? Are there any success stories, Padma, that you can share with us?
Sure, Mark. So when it comes to personalization, and that's what we're all talking about, when we talk about analytics or AI or Gen AI, ultimately personalization, and giving the customers relevant experience is what most matters. For us, the key trend that we see is moving away from transaction-driven personalization to more of persona-driven personalization that Suman was just talking about. So I'll just take an example of a golf retailer, with whom we are working with in terms of defining a future loyalty journey for them. Right. So when we talk of a standard personalization, this golf retailer has the purpose that they want to promote the game of golf. Right. Now, standard, they offer different tiers for their customers, people who are focused on golf as a game or tennis as a game, and based on that, their loyalty program differs, right? But the core purpose is to make people adopt the game more, right? I'll just take a story that we are trying to craft along with the marketing team there. So there is this customer Nancy who belongs to the Busy Beth persona that we just took an example of. She's a single mother though, and she and her daughter Tracy are they are living in a neighborhood, and because of her work reasons, Nancy shifts to another neighborhood, right? And they get Tracy enrolled into a new school. Now, this mom and child, they discuss after her first day at school, and as always, right, that initial teething problems, and this child, tells her mom that it's very difficult for us to, for me to mingle with the kids, and they discuss and see what is it they could do to better engage with the kids, right? And she doesn't feel lonely. Now, at that point in time, she tells her mom that there is this game golf that my friends talk about, but I'm not well versed with the game. So the mom and daughter duo decide to just go and explore what is this game about, and they happen to just get into this particular retailer store. And as always, the store is very welcoming with very good associates there who welcome who welcome Nancy and Tracy, and they tell them that because you're new to the game, let us give you a welcome kit. And with that, a typical loyalty journey there would have been that, they've got points for that. And, maybe, they just get a transaction-based next best offers, right? That's the personalization that is there currently. But just imagine if, during the conversations, they find that the true purpose of Nancy and Tracy in understanding the game is to engage more, right? And get, to a community-based thing, right? Where the daughter does not feel lonely, right? That was the core purpose of them visiting the store. So if this purpose is revealed using the persona analysis that we do, and we marry it with the brand that, getting more people play golf. So in this case, the store associates say, ties them with an expert coach, teaches them about the game, and also makes them join the community of similar golfers. Now the mom, is more relieved because she sees the daughter active on the community, get more friends, and then they become loyal customers of the brand. Now this is the journey we see is the trend moving towards personalization, where uncovering the true motivation of a customer and then tying it back to that of the brand's purpose, right? So that's where we see personalization go, Mark.
Okay. And Padma, when you look at a business who may be looking to implement a CDP or optimize the use of a CDP in their brand's technology infrastructure, what are some first steps that brands should consider?
Okay, so Mark, for the first part, so somebody who is looking to implement a CDP, right? So our primary thing is CDPs have been traditionally driven as campaign CDPs, used to drive a lot of campaigns. But the advice to brands, from our perspective, is to look at it holistically, right? Look at it as a smart hub CDP that we just defined. One that would help the brands to get to a more consistent and connected experience with that of the customers. Now, for those who are looking to implement a CDP, the piece that we typically work with our customers is what we call as the customer value walk, right? Where we say that to get to this single view of a customer, it's not it's not advisable to get into an MDM kind of a program, right? Where you want to first get all the customer data in one place, get to that golden record of a customer, and then start engaging with them. Now, this is not going to happen in a practical world. And that's where what we say is start with where you are, start from where you are, depending on the sources of data that are already available. Say if it's just transaction data or loyalty data, decide that you start there and form those connections of customers in what we call as the identity graph, right? That of a typical CDP. and slowly start engaging with the customers. And then, as they start engaging with the brand, we're going to get more data and keep building on this profile, getting to know more and more about the customers. Right? So the first steps should be to start wherever the business is, and then go on to building, personas based on the data that is collected from the customers, moving to journey, moving to engagement, and finally brand advocacy, the entire customer engagement flywheel that Suman was talking about.
Okay. When you look towards the future, what is the next big thing brands can expect in the way of technology opportunities and tools? What do you see, Padma?
So we did speak about AI and Gen AI being, definitely big trends that we're seeing towards customer engagement, towards personalization, towards the way brands are connecting with customers. The other big thing that we are seeing that is shaping loyalty is, especially on the retail side, is retail media networks. Now, when retailers are looking to monetize the data that they have and bring back, loyalty on track, loyalty is going to play a key role because that's going to give the key insights on what the customer is, what is their preference, right? Which is more important than just the transactional behavior that we just spoke about. And that's going to help them monetize the data a lot.
Okay. Do you have any closing thoughts or pieces of advice for brands with regard to personalizations or with CDPs? And maybe what is next for TCS with regard to CDP and loyalty in 2024?
Okay, sure, Mark. Maybe I can take that.
Okay.
So I would say three key things. One is shift from segmentation to persona. Segmentation traditionally makes us look into more from a recency, frequency, and monetary. It tends to make brands more transactional. Shifting from segmentation to persona actually allows brands to understand consumers across their behavioral, psychographic, and transactional patterns. So it gives a more holistic view of consumers. So first is shift from segmentation to persona. And the moment you do that, that automatically enables you to connect or understand and discover such persona journeys. Like we were talking about, the journey of Busy Beth Monday to Friday would be very different from our same consumer journey on Saturdays and Sundays. So connecting personas to their journeys and discovering journeys is the next crucial step. That is where CDP can help a lot again, because you're now being able to connect multiple digital footprints and profiles across touch points to create that journey or discover that journey. That's very important because, as we go more and more ecosystem based and ecosystem led engagements, 70% of data, customer data, would reside outside your enterprise. And that's where discovering such journeys and using CDP as a way to link those touch points, which can be very important. So the first point that I talked about is persona and discovery of journeys. That's one which really allows brands to understand their consumers better. The second would be, having discovered that journey, how do you really simplify that journey? And there are fabulous, now with Gen AI, there's a tremendous opportunity to really build a very differentiated experience which removes multiple friction points in such journeys. So how can we really simplify such journeys and embed the brand promise while that journey is evolving with consumers in their day in life? There are many brands that does beautifully well, whether it's a morning jog, morning run, or a trail run. There are multiple brands which are really bringing that essence to the true form by discovering their consumer personas. And the third element, having discovered journeys, having embedded brands, how do you really tie it back to what we call as responsible and purpose-led engagements? There are multiple researches which shows that consumers relate to a brand 8 times more when they see the brand as responsible, as sustainable, and being focused on giving back to society. So how do you really leverage, once you've done this CDP and linking to customer journeys, brought in your AI to simplify, how can you tie it back towards responsible engagements through a loyalty platform? Can you really transfer that to a green loyalty? Or if you look into really United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, there are many facets: giving back to society, protecting, conserving nature, reducing carbon footprint. There are so many themes that are out there which consumers are really relating to. So how do you tie it back to responsible and purpose-led engagements? And it need not be just about UN SDGs. It can be any other goals emotions and beliefs that you see your personas really responding to. So trying it back, all in the context of privacy and responsible AI, that's what we would think is a way to set up a engagement flywheel that can really drive that network effect. So in summary, I would say discover consumer personas, link them to their journeys, embed your brand to those journey experiences. Third is simplify those journeys by leveraging GenAI. And fourth would be how to really connect it back towards responsible and purpose-led engagement that can create that engagement flywheel. So those are the areas that we as TCS are also focusing in 2024. And we would see more of GenAI, more of purpose-led engagements into our solutions and products as we go forward.
Excellent. Well, great. Thank you very much for going through that. Great to hear about how you're looking at CDPs, because again, it's a very important part to brands today, but there's a good deal of consternation and concern with regard to functionality in the CDP. Does it do what it says it should do? And how do you integrate it with your systems is a big challenge we see. So now we have our quick fire question. One word or a short phrase. And I think, Suman, you're going to answer these, correct?
Oh, well, okay. Let me give it a try.
Go ahead. What is your favorite word?
Favorite word? I would say limitless or unbound. Yep.
Okay. What is your least favorite word?
I think if we can move from I to we, it's a much better world.
Excellent. Agreed. What excites you?
I think this limitless possibility that really we are seeing by leveraging data AI to bring our physical and digital worlds together, I think can really unlock a lot of benefits for the society, for individuals, and overall for the planet. So that really excites me in terms of the possibilities that we see in really connecting the digital and physical worlds together through AI.
Okay. What do you find tiresome?
Repetitious work, expecting same result while doing the same, different result while doing the same work. I think that'll be tiresome indeed.
And what's your favorite book recommendation to make to a colleague?
Well, lots. Okay, the one that if I have to really make one recommendation, right, and I think it has to be philosophical. And for me, top of the chart would be Bhagavad Gita, interpretation by Dr. A.G. Krishna Warrior. While Gita is more known as a religious text outside India, but it's truly about circle of life and a lot of things to learn from that. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. As a customer, what brand engages you the best?
Well, I'm not sure if I should take a brand name per se, but there are multiple I think you can really make out. There are brands which really does well in embedding them in our daily lives, be it when we are going out for a morning run with an app on our phone, or when we are booking our commute for a ride share, or even booking our vacation. I think there are brands which really have been extremely successful in embedding their brand promise in our day in lives. And those are the ones that really impresses me most.
Perfect. When you look at a profession other than the one you're currently in, what would you like to attempt?
Wow. Okay. I think pretty happy with the one that I've had for the last 24 years. But I would say running a trust fund, maybe. Yeah, that'll be exciting.
Okay. And what profession would you avoid?
Possibly media and entertainment. I think all professions are great. It's just that I'm not a good fit to that. So that's the one I would avoid.
Okay. What do you typically think about at the end of the day?
If I had been better today than yesterday. So yeah.
And last question, how do you want to be remembered by your friends and family?
Well, maybe as a guy who was helpful. I think, yeah, that would be the one.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much for taking the time to speak with again today about what you're seeing with CDP, what you're seeing in personalization. It was great getting to know both you, Suman, and Padma on a little bit more of a personal level, and also a little bit more about the TCS platform and the vision you have for CDPs and personalization. So thank you.
Thanks a lot, Mark. Great talking to you. Thank you.
Absolutely. And thank you everyone for listening. Make sure you join us back for another edition of Loyalty Live soon. Until then, have a wonderful day.